Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to Education Today from the beautiful state of Wyoming. This morning we will be hearing from Laura Morris, who is here to discuss the No Child Left Behind Act. In some companies, this can be a pretty hot topic of debate. Many claim that the No Child Left Behind Act has done nothing but require teachers to teach to the test, and states lower expectations in order to become proficient in all content areas. We will get a more rounded view of this controversial reform. So, Ms. Morris, what is the No Child Left Behind Act?
Thanks for having me here this morning. The No Child Left Behind Act is a comprehensive federal initiative designed to improve the educational performance of all students, including those with exceptionalities. The No Child Left Behind Act is actually a reauthorization of earlier legislation, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, which was also intended to conform to a new accountability system, thus the birth of standardized testing. No Child Left Behind represents a major expansion of the federal government's role in public education. The government had made some major decisions involving school reform dating back to 1954 in Brown v. Topeka Board of Education concerning equal rights, but the government was still viewed as primarily a source of financial assistance, not necessarily reform. No Child Left Behind was signed into effect by U.S. President George W. Bush in 2001. He believed, quote, "More and more we are divided into two nations, one that reads and one that doesn't, one that dreams and one that doesn't," end quote. The reform was designed to ensure that students were college and career ready, as well as keeping parents better informed while building partnerships between home and school.
Now, the No Child Left Behind Act consists of 6 guiding principles. Is that correct?
Yes. The 6 principles of No Child Left Behind are accountability for results, school safety, parental choice, teacher quality, scientifically based methods of teaching, and local flexibility.
Can you tell us a little bit more about these No Child Left Behind principles?
Sure. First is the accountability for results. This holds schools responsible for the improvement of student academic achievement. The government rewards school districts and schools that show improvement while reforming those that do not. The next one is school safety. At the time that No Child Left Behind was enacted, there was data showing that schools were not safe havens for our children. All children need and deserve a safe environment. It is crucial to their learning and growth. All states are required to report on school safety and strive to keep their schools drug-free. Parental choice gives parents the right to transfer their students to another school district if the school that they are attending is unsafe or it is not meeting the standards of No Child Left Behind. This act also acknowledges that learning depends on teaching. Therefore, they raise the bar in regards to teacher quality as well. Student outcomes depend upon teacher competency. At the time that No Child Left Behind enactment, there was a great concern about the reading ability of children in the United States. Congress wanted to be sure that schools were using the most recent scientifically based methods that were available. This is also the case with the Individuals with Disability Act. Special education teachers must use scientifically based instructional practices to the maximum extent possible. But last but not least is the local flexibility. This is really important because not all schools face the same problems or have the same areas of concern. This principle allows state and local agencies to determine how funds are used so that they can put the money where it is needed.
So how do these principles apply to the content of family and professional partnerships?
That's a great question. No Child Left Behind is hinged on the partnership of families and professionals. Every principle that I discussed earlier gives more rights and privileges to parents in the hopes that school districts, educators, and parents will all work together to provide the ideal educational experience for children. Let me give you a few examples. Let's take a look at accountability. Students are required under No Child Left Behind to take standardized tests. These test results are given to every child's parents or guardians. They can then meet with teachers to discuss the results of those assessments and decide what action should be taken, as well as to know exactly what subject area the child is not proficient in. Parents can then work with the teachers and administrators in getting the child a tutor, or enrolled in summer school, or given more help or assistance at home in order to improve test results. The education of that child becomes a group effort. All are partnered up with the same goals in mind. Parents also are notified if the school in which their child is enrolled is not meeting the standards of No Child Left Behind. This brings in the principle of parental choice. Parents will be given the option to move their child to a school district who is meeting those standards at the cost of the government. Parents are entitled to know if each teacher is state certified, as well as their level of education. This open line of communication helps to bring down barriers between schools and parents and help to promote partnerships.
Which of the No Child Left Behind principles is likely to be more important to students than any other, or are they all equally important?
That is like asking someone who their favorite child is. I think that they are equally important and they work together to ensure the academic success for all students. Despite some flaws, the underlying mission of No Child Left Behind is collaboration and partnership. All principles of this reform encourage parental participation in the education of their child, making each one important to student success.
Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the differences between the missions of Individuals with Disabilities Act and the No Child Left Behind Act as they relate to students with disabilities and the formation of family professional partnership?
The biggest difference is that the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act was a reform to special education, whereas No Child Left Behind reformed the general education classrooms. Of course, No Child Left Behind was applicable to those students with disabilities as well, because of the Individuals with Disabilities Act guaranteed students with exceptionalities to be included within the general education classroom.
Okay, very interesting. So, which of the IDA and No Child Left Behind principles would you like to change if you could, and how would you change it and why?
Wow, you're hitting me with some tough ones today. Well, I understand the need for accountability and that it may be a necessary element for academic improvements. However, I have seen the anxiety and the stress that standardized tests cause in students and teachers. I have seen little kids get so frustrated when they can't get the computer to do what they want it to do. I strongly feel that the implementation of these tests can be changed for the better, and in turn would lessen the anxiety felt by students. I have heard teachers say that they are giving them these tests because it's the law, and their negativity is transferred to the students. I think we should begin by getting rid of the name. Standardized tests should become known as progress monitoring, because that is truly the goal, to see our students progress. The word test tends to make children panic, so why should we even go there?
What do these policies mean for you as a future educator?
I feel that these policies can guide my professional practices. The No Child Left Behind Act has raised the bar in regards to teacher quality. I will continue to strive to be the best educator I can be. I will continue my education and participate in professional development classes so that I will be informed of the latest scientific advancements in education. This will be especially important in the area of special education. I also feel that it is important for me to know what the laws are so that I can comply with exactness. If I am well educated about these principles and procedures, then I can communicate them to parents in simplicity. This will build trust and enhance our partnership.
That is wonderful. Thank you for visiting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, that'll wrap up our program for today. Tune in next week with more great information about education today.